How's it going, everyone? We are starting this video out. Funny story.
It's not funny.
We just shot the whole video and my phone cut out or my camera cut out after a minute of recording and had no idea. So we'll jump right into this right away. We're bringing you back another episode of rating your guys' ATV side-by-sides. Got my beautiful wife with me again, Rachel. I had fun doing it with her last week, and I asked her to come out and do it again because I think it brings a little bit more fun to rate the rating videos other than just me talking. Kind of makes us laugh, smile, gets you guys a little more content.
Makes him more relaxed.
Yes, it does help with the videoing. That being said, we're going to jump right into this. Our first one sent in by 204_Rennie. He's got a Can-Am Renegade. Got bigger wheels, bigger tires on there, MSA wheels, halos, a very clean, simple build. I really like this bike because it's one of those bikes where simpler is almost better. The way he has it done, it's not over the top, and I appreciate that. I would have to put it at a 7.5 to an 8. It's just a real simple build. Exhaust, some floorboards, farm mounting halos. He's 32-inch tires. There we go. Very clean, simple build on the bike. I'd have to put it at a 7.5. 7.5, I would call it. I think I would probably add a little bit more color, maybe the bumper, maybe a little red graphics just to tie in the suspension to it because it already does have the red powder coating in the suspension. Just a little red to add some character to it, I think.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Red and gray just are very sharp together, and I like that. I definitely love the red halos. They bring it out a lot. I like the tires and the rims. I am a sucker for rims with like star looking, I guess. Is that how you would describe it?
A lot of spokes, shiny spokes.
There we go. I don't know. It's something just about it. But with these tires, I really hope that they're used for mud. Oh my gosh, they'd be so much fun to go riding with. I too would rate this probably at a 7.5, 7. I would like to see a little bit more color. I guess it's hard to see when we don't have other pictures other than this one.
The one he did send is a very good, high quality picture.
Definitely.
I think if we had a couple other pictures seen all the way around, maybe you change the rating up a little bit. Either way, I'd like to see a little more color.
Well, like Hunter said, it's still simple and it's very simple. And it's nice. It's very good. There's nothing.
I got nothing bad to say about it. I'd just like to see a little bit more
color.
Color in it, I think, would make the machine pop for sure. We're going to move to the next one. The next one sent in by XMR_Mafia_. He's got a long list for me to read off here real quick. So stick with me. So we got custom seat from @Mug Ford Trims. Mug. That's a hard one. Front and back. 3S arms. QSC Rev X RMT primary. STM secondary. Blight BT06 wheels. Super ATV assassinators. SLG big core exhaust. RJWC halos. Duplicator key. My lifter snorkel horn. MCE snorkel screen. Custom rad screen. Custom moto quad air box lid. Original mods gas cap shifter and 2-inch specialized tie rods. 2-inch riser specialized tie rods, and much more. This is a cool bike. It's a very simple, clean build, kind of like the last one. A little bit more aggressive looking for probably the XMR bumper helps a lot in the front. They just have a little more aggressive bumper. The seat's really cool too because it's got some like stitching in the back, and it's all black. I think the only thing I'd really change is add a little bit more red in the suspension to tie in the wheels, the red beadlock wheel on the wheels. That being said, though, I'd have to put this one at an 8.5. I personally really like the color. I know she's not necessarily the biggest fan of the color. That's the beautiful thing with our sport. Not everyone likes the same thing.
Right. That color I just don't like it. But the machine itself, very clean, set up, very nice. Tires, again, I would hope that they're used for mud because they definitely look like a mud tire. I would just like to see just a little bit more color. Hunter said that this is from the factory, but I'm not a huge fan of the way the snorkel like set up. It's just,
I think it looks mean. That's
No.
why I want one, but
I
to
don't
each
like
their
it.
own.
But yeah, it's definitely very simple, very clean. Just because I don't like the color, I'm sorry. I have to give it a 6. But other than that, I very like it. The halos too make it look mean. So maybe a 6.5.
It's a cool machine. I like the color personally a lot. A lot. I personally would do orange instead of red, but everyone has their different color combos that they like. We are going to move on to the next one, which is, I believe, our first Honda. It is Justin_Robert 420, which I find ironic because he has a Rubicon 520. Maybe he had a Honda 420 before. Cool bike. It's a he's running ITP Tornado wheels all the way around, 20-inch bighorn, 5-inch riser, Renthal handlebars. I really like this machine. It's a cool trail machine. These wheels, the ITP Tornado, are one of my favorite wheels out there right now. They're kind of a simple but also flashy, if that makes sense. I guess they're a cool looking wheel in general. The dark charcoal with the red is a very good color on the Honda.
Very sharp.
Now looking at it, he has the handlebars matching the same color too, which is cool. I would maybe add a little bit of red in the suspension and probably rip it as is like that. That being said, I'm gonna have to throw this thing at an 8. It's just a cool built trail machine, and I'd love to jump on and see how it rides. I bet you it's probably a pretty fun trail machine and probably rips really good with that wider stance on it. And
Yeah,
just
definitely.
handles really good, I bet.
I like the rims. One of my favorite parts. But that charcoal gray and red gets me. I like that a lot, that color a lot. The handlebars, when we recorded this the first time, we didn't notice that. So that's a really good, I like that
cool.
a lot. Yeah, very simple. I would go with a 7.5. Just like to see a little bit more color. I think it's just the only thing I would like to see from that one, but yeah.
I think she's
very
right
nice.
on par there. Jumping to the next one, we've got 2 left. This one's a very cool bike. It's a Sportsman high lifter. He's got some custom paint on it. Also, this one's sent in by ATV Steve. He's got snorkel risers on it, a custom paint job, tires, wheels. This paint job is super cool. I'm just going to throw it out there right away. Wheels aren't my favorite wheels. They're a good looking wheel still, but not necessarily my first choice. The only other thing that throws me off is the headlights, and it's not his fault. It's just what Polaris sends him with. I'd maybe do some aftermarket ones that aren't chrome.
He does not like chrome. Oh my goodness.
I'm not a big chrome fan at all. It's got its places, certain places. I think on this ATV it looks out of place because it's the only thing on it that there's chrome. Whereas if you had some black housing headlights, I think it would look pretty sharp.
Very sharp.
That being said, I'm gonna have to put this at an 8.5. It's just a cool, simple, again, another simple build, but also a really cool looking build with that gray with the red paint job. Maybe a little bit of red in the suspension, but at the same time, it's got gray suspension on it, which looks pretty sharp already. So I don't even think I'd do that. I think wheels and headlights would be my 2 things I would change. Yeah.
I gotta be honest, the first time he showed me this, like just the front, I was like, oh my god, did this guy hit a deer or something? Because, I mean, you guys will see what I'm talking about, but it was just, and then I looked at it and I was like, damn, that's cool. I really like that a lot. I like the snorkels, oh my gosh, what is that called? The light bar. Wow, what a night it has been. Very nice. It's simple. You just don't see custom paint jobs like that very often.
Especially on a 4-wheeler.
Yes.
It's cool to see somebody do something a little different on a machine.
Definitely, because we don't really see this kind of different. You see solid colors and wraps and stuff, but you just don't see
a bunch of
paint.
Correct. I think it's really cool.
Definitely. I would have to go with another 7. Tires, rims, I think I would like to see more aggressive, maybe.
It's still
I don't know. I'm an aggressive machine person.
She likes big mud tires.
I like the mud.
I'm getting there. We got one more to do. It's sent in by freight.train.official. This is an over-the-top, just cool build. It's a Can-Am Renegade. There isn't a thing on this bike I don't think that was touched. This bike was touched front to back. Rad relocate kit, wrap, wheels, tires, suspension, custom rack in the back to fit 2 gas cans. He's the guy that if you're going to go ride on a long day and possibly get stuck out in the middle of the woods, he's the guy to ride with by the looks of it because he's prepared. This just looks like a fun build.
I hope he had fun building it too.
It's like a, hopefully you guys can see it in the pictures. It's a dark blue red with a little bit of yellow.
I'm not a fan of the yellow on it, but it fits the machine. And then the rad
relocate kit, the cover on it is super cool. It goes from like a yellow red, I would call it, to a darker red to a black. Just everything he did to the bike is cool.
The halos, I didn't even know.
It's got red halos on it. I can't think of a thing I would change on the bike.
No.
Therefore, I'm going to have to put it at a 10. Just the way it is. It'd be a fun bike to jump on and go hit every mud hole I can find in it. And just see what actually stops it. Because it's a super cool bike. Honestly, it's probably one of the coolest Renegades I've seen so far on all these rating videos. Very, very cool bike sent in. I'm at a 10 on it because it was speechless at first when he first sent it in, and the more I looked, the more I found, and it's just little touches here and there, custom floorboards, custom everything realistically on it. It's a very cool bike.
I too would rate it a 10. I didn't notice this the first time, but I would maybe like to see a little bit of red in the suspension. Kind of pop it.
Maybe some red springs.
But, I mean, that don't have to because the bike looks
It has
nice
a lot done to it already.
And
it's at that fine line of...
I just called it a bike.
If you do... She doesn't like that I call four-wheelers bikes, so she just did it. It's funny.
It's a machine.
It's at that fine line of you don't want to do too much more because it's almost too much done. Right now, it's like at that perfect spot, I would say.
And I know I just said before that I didn't like the snorkel, but it's hidden behind the
rad relocate.
Thank you. I am blanking right now. I think it's because our last video was almost a half an hour long.
So. It was a little long. We're making this one a little shorter and better, so it actually worked out good.
Yeah, I would, like I said, a 10 as well. Maybe a little bit of color, but if not, you know,
it's a cool
who cares
bike.
What I think.
It's a cool bike. Some people care. That's why they're watching. That's where this one's going to end on the ratings. I did just want to throw out real quick. We're finally getting out and going riding again. It'll be her first real driving time. She got out a little bit out at Syracuse, not a whole lot, as she was in an accident, unfortunately, the week before. So
the week that we
rode, she got T-boned, so she was a little sore, so she didn't want to ride too much. I can't blame her for that. But we're getting out. We're going in southern Wisconsin. There's a fun ATV park down there. We're also getting our youngest out. We'd like to see more of your kiddos riding. That's kind of where the sport is. I mean, the sport can't grow without the kids getting into it. Without kids getting into riding, the sport would phase out. And so I feel like getting them into young. I've taken him for a couple road rides already in their side-by-side, and every time I put him in it, he smiles from the minute we leave until the minute we get back. He loves it, so I hope he loves off-road and getting dirty just as much. That'll be interesting to see.
I hope you guys watch some of the videos. And
we'll get some videos out there. I also have some install videos coming on the Grizzly finally again. I don't have anything planned for the Razor as of right now, just not in the budget to do anything to it right now, but I had a couple things that has been bugging me to get done on the Grizzly to finish off the mud build. And then if you guys would like, I'd love to do a walk around video on it. I haven't done a walk around video on it yet. Be kind of a cool one if you guys would like to see it. I don't know about where you guys are at, but the flies have been bad lately.
Oh, horrible.
But
sorry.
That's
That's
kind of
why
one of those things. We'd like to see where you guys have started and what got you into riding too. I started right after high school. I was always into four-wheelers. Mainly, we just had them for hunting when I was little.
Farm.
And stuff like that. But then
I never grew up with them. My family had them, at their house, but they only did for hunting, and I don't hunt, so I never got to ride them. So when I met Hunter, and we went out on our first four-wheeling trip,
which was on a Suzuki Quad Runner 500.
I loved it, but then
I went and bought a Sportsman 570 after that, and she was mad the day I brought it home because I didn't tell her I was buying it. I just went and bought it. She was mad. I think we went out and rode that weekend, though, and she was like, this is a world of difference of a machine. And it was funny because I always thought that Suzuki rode pretty good, and then I went from the Sportsman, I jumped back on it, and I went like a quarter mile, and I was like, I can't ride this. This is horrible.
And that's where
That's where our passion started. And if you guys follow along on Instagram or even the YouTube channel, you've seen I've had every machine on here. I do like to change machines quite often because I like change. The Grizzly, I don't plan on getting rid of, though. It's kind of one of those machines where
you're making it your own now.
I've made it to what I want it to be.
The other machines you just rode.
Correct. I just rode. I did a little things here and there, wheels and tires, but this I've done a lot more work to. Mm-hmm. Granted, the Mav I did do a bunch of powder coating to. I didn't ride it like that.
Breaking my heart.
That was her favorite machine. I loved it too. It's just at the time, it had to go at the time, unfortunately, and now we're at a place where we can get back into it and get our kids into it as we grow and grow the passion for ATVing and hopefully grow this community. We'd like to know what you guys would like to see in building the ATV community. Get everyone together. It'd be awesome. It's hard because I know we got a lot of ATVers from Canada. There's a lot from the US, all over. It's a big area. It'd be cool to one day do as big an ATV ride as we can do. Maybe do one in the US. I'd love to get to Canada to ride. There's a lot of you guys up in Canada, the mud riding you do. I don't think my Grizzly would hang because you guys have big power bikes.
Your Grizzly?
I would love a Renegade 1000 because it's a Grizzly. Grizzly was my dream machine as a kid. That's why I bought it. But that being said, there's a lot of you guys running big power Renegades. Power-wise, I don't think I would hang. It'd be fun to see what a Grizzly would do with some of you guys. It'd be fun to get up there and ride sometime and just see. We like getting out. We're going to West Virginia at the end of the year or at the end of the summer. But let us know where you guys like to ride, what your favorite riding is, what you guys would like to see us do with the machines. If you'd like to see her in more videos. She's getting more and more comfortable. I'm getting more comfortable. Hopefully you guys think so too. We don't want to make it awkward. We want to make it fun. We want this to be fun. So
I'm going to make just a comment. I think other than rating videos, that we should do a couple other videos on talking maybe like how we met and how we got into this sport maybe a little bit more, and then so we can hear what you guys
like a podcast style, essentially.
Sure. I don't know.
Kind of talking ATVing. I think they call it podcasts. Those guys that are big into podcasts.
I don't know, but we want to hear from you. We want to, know your stories. Where have you guys started? What are you in now? What are your kids doing? We got a four-wheeler back there that we hope to get ready for our oldest, that we hope to have more videos too.
I want to do a video series with him on that. That brings up another point. I want him to help me and hopefully get your kids into it too. Seeing another kid working on a four-wheeler, hopefully it gets them into being, hey, I want to do that too, because I know that's kind of what he likes. He sees something, he goes, I want to be like Dad, or I saw this kid do that, I want to try that.
Try it, yeah.
So
definitely
seeing kids do it helps get other kids into it, I hope, and just keeps growing the community. We don't want this community to die off. I know it's grown a lot during COVID time.
Yes.
I'd like to see it stay that way and just keep growing.
Yeah, send us some pictures of your kids' four-wheelers too. We want to know what they're riding.
I know there's some cool ones out there.
when we were at Syracuse, they have a little kids track, and oh my gosh, the kids out there, they were so cute.
It's actually that's one of the things I really like with Syracuse is the fact that they have
a
riding,
separate track.
They have riding for everyone. They have a kids ATV area where if you're over 12, I think, or it was probably if you're over 16, I think it was, you can't ride on the track, which is cool. It gives the kids so they can ride at their pace and they don't have to worry about anybody.
And it wasn't just a circle. They had loops and bumps and it was a course that, I don't know.
Kind of teaches them too, and the parents could sit there and watch them and make sure they were safe. But Syracuse is a cool place too because there was a mud area, there's dirt bikes areas, there's a racetrack there, there's a little bit for everyone there.
Definitely.
It was a little dusty when we went, but that's because we've been very dry this year here in Wisconsin. But
we better end this video.
We don't want to keep it too long. Get out and ride, enjoy your machines, and remember, it's not just a hobby, it's a lifestyle. Get out and ride.